You guys, Emily Armstrong is threatening to quit Linkin Park over all of the backlash. Catherine Bell is defending Scientology. And we even have a clip of Emily Armstrong's sister doing the same. Hey, everybody, and welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology, Life After a Cult. Hello to everybody in the live chat. Thank you, members, for being here as well. Big thank you to the mods for helping to keep those wheels on the bus. Different time today. I had some stuff going on this morning. I hate when my other job interferes with my favorite job. But here we are. So we're going to jump right into all of this because we have so much stuff to cover, including news just out about Emily Armstrong threatening to quit Linkin Park. We're going to get to that. But first, we're going to jump into some other Scientology news that we're going to recap. I've been listening to it multiple times. Stacy says, yes, I loved Kelly's version. Me too. So great, Joe, right? Shivers. Completely. I love it. Kelly, me too. I love having all of you here and some laughter. We're going to bring it all today. We've got laughter. We've got things that will absolutely mortify you. I like how we do it all in our Scientology recaps here at Scientology Life for a Cult. Nothing kind of is off limits that way, but I do try to bring the humor, if no other reason, because I need it. I need it, people. I absolutely need it. Okay, so let's now go look at Seattle, my old stomping grounds, by the way. Side note, I was a Sea Org member in Seattle at Seattle Scientology for a couple of years, got into all kinds of trouble, got sent there as punishment because my husband at the time and I refused to end our pregnancy and chose to, in fact, have our child. So we got sent to Seattle because back then in the Sea Organization, as part of your billion-year contract, by 1986, I think it was 86, 88, you were no longer allowed to have children. They didn't have the facilities for it. And let's be honest, even when they had the facilities for it, they shouldn't have been doing that. And we're going to look at some clips coming up actually talking about that. So Seattle is like where I used to be. So I recognize some people in this photo I'm going to show you, including my old boss. Yes. Meniscus, thank you so much for that super sticker. All right, let's look at this. And if any of you have been to Seattle Scientology, you might recognize some of these people. So this is a Scientology press release. This is Scientology propaganda. Friendship Day at the Church of Scientology Seattle promotes sustainability. Does it? Does it really? I mean, seriously, I don't think so. But let's look. First off, let's look at this photo. That is, I think her name is Lisa. Oh gosh, that guy's name was, I think Moots was kind of a nickname. Recognize him, but don't know the name. Forgot the name. Maybe don't know, not sure. That's my old boss when I first got to Seattle. I cannot believe he is still there. I wonder if he's still a Sea Org member or not. And I'm not sure about these people too. They do look familiar, but I'm just not pulling up the names right now. But I thought it was interesting to see somebody who was my old boss in the Sea Org. So basically, Seattle, they're basically trying to say green and clean, that they're proud to contribute to this movement, picking up garbage, all kinds of stuff. They're basically handing out the way to happiness. And it's really interesting because let's not forget. So this is Seattle all about, right? Safeguard and improve your environment. Let's get out there and clean up. Meanwhile, what happened in Kansas City? Do you guys remember? Z News had a video there. We highlighted it. In fact, I was there for part of it where Kansas City, that Scientology org, had cigarette butts all up along the building, and Z News went and circled them. And then she wrote in chalk the Way to Happiness quote saying that they needed to clean that stuff up. And you know what? They did. They did clean it up. But when you're trying to get more positive press and you're Scientology and you're getting your butt handed to you over and over and over again, you got to try different angles to try and win back the public. It's not happening. And we all know it's not happening. In fact, Scientology are the only ones who think that that's actually possible, that they can claw back any type of true positive public relations. That ship has sailed, my friends. Everybody knows that you're a cult. Meniscus, thank you so much for donating a Scientology Life After a Cult membership. Hip, hip, hooray. I love it. Yeah, Joe, it was like an adopt a street kind of thing. That's what it sounded like to me. Definitely what it sounded like. Some of you guys might recognize some of those people in Seattle. And again, link down below if you want to go look at that later. But what you might want to do first is listen to Julian Dorey, who did an interview with Jenna Miscavige. We're going to look at a clip of that. He's got a big channel here on YouTube and podcasts. And Jenna sat down with him and shared her experience of what it was like being in the Sea Org as a child at the cadet org and pretty much being groomed to be a Sea Org member. That is your only existence. It's the only thing that you can do. It's the only assumption of what you will do. Let's take a look at this clip.
Writing well, vocabulary, reading, and like basic math, but there wasn't like social studies or science or anything like that. They would let us do a few research projects, but it didn't even tell us what to read. It was like, go find what you're interested in the encyclopedia and write an essay about it. So yeah, it just wasn't considered something that we would need in order to be Sea Org members. And it was always assumed that we would be Sea Org members. It was predetermined. Like, I even signed my billion-year contract when I was 7 years old.
When you were 7, you signed the billion-year contract.
Yeah. So we were cadets, and we were going to be Sea Org members.
Yes, when you are a child born into the Sea organization, like Jenna was, you become a cadet. And when you're a cadet, you are a Sea Org member in training. So it's exactly that. You are no longer a child. They would, in fact, they would break the kids up by, you would have children, kids who were considered to be kids, which was super, super young kids. And then when you got to be, 6, 7, 8, when you could basically read and do some of the Scientology indoctrination, you became a cadet. No longer a child. You are now a cadet. You are a Sea Org member in training to be a Sea Org member. There is no other option. And Jenna was in there talking about basically like what they were exposed to and what they were not exposed to when it came to their education. Fantastic interview. Tina in the last 20, so sad, sending Jenna love. Absolutely. And some of it is difficult to hear, but we have to hear it. It's difficult to talk about, but we have to talk about it because we just do, because there's no other way to put a stop to this, to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen where people, want to leave Scientology and can't leave Scientology, or their family will disconnect from them. All of the things. Let's also look at a clip. We're going to look at a short also that Jenna did, which I thought was just fantastic. Let's give this a listen.
I'm Jenna.
Oh, wait a minute. That is not it. What did we just click over to? We just clicked.
A big point that I want to make in this video is that Scientology isn't just a collection of silly beliefs that are cute or funny, that have to do with aliens or just things that weird celebrities believe in. This is an actually dangerous and abusive cult that harms children. And the celebrities that pay money into this cult, who are adults and who have access to the internet and all of these stories, including my book, which was a New York Times best-selling book, they have access to this information, and they still choose to ignore it and pay money to Scientology and promote it. And that is not okay.
That's right. She's just calling it out. That is a problem. I feel, as the next Scientologist, I think with the amount of news and stories and situations coming out where people are either publicly leaving Scientology or doing the under the radar thing, kind of quiet quitting Scientology, that we're going to continue to see more and more Scientologists, soon to be ex-Scientologists, feeling comfortable leaving and walking away and standing up for themselves and standing up to the bully that is Scientology. And why? Because of you guys. There are so many people, Never in Scientology, all in unending the cult, who are here supporting these different channels, elevating these voices, getting out these messages. So you guys are making this happen. And it is pretty incredible. In fact, they've had to pull in people like Catherine Bell to defend Scientology. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Yep, Stacy, that's right. Like Nancy Cartwright and Elizabeth Moss, self-policing and ignoring the internet, just ignoring it. And I love that Jenna called it out. And if you are new to my channel or this genre of Scientology cult talk, Jenna Miscavige is the niece of Scientology's dictator, David Miscavige. And definitely check out her book, Beyond Belief. And you can find her here on YouTube at Jenna Miscavige. So go find her. She's one you absolutely want to follow and subscribe to. Let's take a little peek now at a clip, because if you guys ever wondered, like, the Scientology structure makes no sense. The management structure, the corporate structure, how does it play out? How do you understand the insidious points of it? Well, Paralyze to Paralyze did a video. We are going to look at a clip where this person did an amazing comparison and analogy with shopping malls that actually really lays it out in one of the easiest ways to understand, I think, that I've heard. So we're going to take a look at that. And you're right, David Bruce, your voices are being heard. The message is getting out. Yes. And like I said, in large part, I hope that you all know the key role that you all play in this. Every like, every subscribe, every video you watch, every video you share on this helps to get the word out. And it is a form of protest against Scientology, which you can do from the comfort of your home as you are. So I appreciate that. Please keep it up. Keep it up. All right, let's see. Where was, oh yeah, that's right. Paralyze to Paralyze. The corporate structure of Scientology in this mall analogy is fantastic.
The Scientology corporate structure can be understood through the analogy of a large shopping mall, where different organizations and entities have their own roles, but all ultimately serve the same larger goal: generating revenue and keeping shoppers, members, inside the system. Mall owners. Church of Spiritual Technology.
Now, the Church of Spiritual Technology is a part of Scientology that a lot of Scientologists don't even hear about. Even in the C organization, it is very hush-hush. So sharing this and making this known might surprise some Scientologists who might be watching this.
CST. In this analogy, CST represents the ultimate owner of the mall. It holds the rights to the foundational property, which in Scientology's case is L. Ron Hubbard's writings and the religion's core intellectual property. CST oversees the long-term preservation of these materials.
The video goes on to explain kind of each piece of it using this mall analogy, and it made so much sense to me. This whole Scientology structure is something that many of us never understood. Like I said, Scientology, especially in the C organization, is famous for compartmentalizing, and the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. They just basically try to treat Sea Org members like mushrooms, feed them shit, and keep them in the dark. That is pretty much what Scientology does to try to protect the truth about how and why they are a human trafficking cult. But word is getting out. Word is getting out. That's right, LVP. Mall analogy. I love it. I loved it too. I did. I really did. All right, now let's go take a look at, there is a new video out. There is a new channel. It's called Scientology, The Real Truth, and real is spelled R-E-E-L. And they're putting out content and videos so that if you're a lawmaker or even the media, someone who can go and get kind of quick information in a very compact form about Scientology and why we're here exposing Scientology. So if you're not already following this, be sure to. And again, it is Scientology, The Real Truth, R-E-E-L for the spelling of real. And this is on a revoking Scientology's tax exempt status. We're going to look at a clip. You definitely want to see the whole video when you have a chance.
Many people have escaped and spoken out, and many books have been written, as well as documentaries like HBO's Going Clear and TV shows like Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath, and even Time magazine. In the past year, many have joined the battle to expose Scientology on YouTube, with over 200 channels currently on offer. The information is out there. You just need to look for yourself.
But what was done to us as kids with our passports locked up inside of those hotels, like, why? We didn't think it was a crime. They told us it was a valuable document. Oh, here, you guys, give us all your passports. Those are just valuable documents. We can just keep them in a safe.
It is fantastic. The video is not very long. There's a lot of information. It is a great one to share with people who might be new to all of this to kind of get a quick understanding of what's happening, and then they can go down the rabbit hole. Absolutely. Style Audit 1A, there's a place near me called Science of Spirituality, appears deserted and been there a long time. Is it related to the cult of Scientology? Not that I am aware of. Science of Spirituality. Not that I'm aware of. Could be a front group, but I kind of doubt it because it gets too close to being similar to, calling it Scientology. I don't think so, but if you find out different, let me know. I would like to know. I would like to know. Nothing but love. I agree. So powerful. It definitely is a powerful video. Okay, let's talk about PTS for Life. If you guys follow Jeff here on YouTube, you are familiar with his story. If not, he just dropped a video talking about his disconnection within his own family because Scientology practiced the harmful practice of disconnection where they cut ties with family members. It doesn't matter if it's your parents, your kids, your aunt, your uncle, your cousins, your neighbor, your best friend, your soulmate, whatever. If that person is on the outs with Scientology, either not in good standing, as they call it, you have to be in good standing in Scientology. That basically means like, yes, we accept you. And if you do stuff you don't like, they don't like, then you are not in good standing. So you cannot be in good standing and then also be declared a suppressive person or labeled some type of potential trouble source. And what happens? The Scientologists will then practice disconnection where they cut ties. So we're going to look at just a clip from Jeff PTS for Life's video where he shares his heartbreaking story.
My name is Jeff, and this is my story of disconnection in Scientology. When I was 14 years old, I was sent to Los Angeles to work for the famed C organization in Scientology. While I was there, I was made to disconnect from my mother because she was not in agreement with me being down there and dedicating my life to Scientology. This is the story of how that happened. I was working in the galley one day, which is the kitchen in the C organization in Los Angeles. I slipped. My leg got caught underneath the hot pipes of the large pots they used to cook porridge in for all the crew.
Now he goes on to tell this story and explain more, but disconnection, I mean, from his mom. And I'm also wondering, like, Jeff, when were you in the galley in LA? Because I was there. We should compare notes and see if we were there at the same time, because that's where I was working too. Devastating story. Definitely check it out. And Jeff is doing a great job over there at PTS for Life with his wife, Andrea. They have been doing this whole project to basically, they go to Scientology's website, one of their front groups, like the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, and it shows on there all these law enforcement badges where these people apparently, per Scientology, support the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. There's all these badges on there. Well, guess what? Jeff at PTS for Life and others, many of you, in fact, have been going one by one and contacting these agencies and law enforcement and asking, hey, I see you're on Scientology's website there promoting and sharing, and you support the Foundation for a Drug-Free World and thereby Scientology. Is this true? Well, it is not. Listen to this.
We have found out one for one who we have contacted and heard back from that they do not, in fact, support Drug-Free World, nor have they given them permission to put their badge on the website. Now, we have been successful in getting 3 badges actually removed from the website, and we're going to go over very quickly those emails in a sec. However, there's a very awesome person who has looked much deeper than us, who has noticed that on the Scientology website itself, actually has their badges on the website. And
Yes. So I love this. Jeff and the people who are helping him are looking into this and calling it out and being like, hey, one, do you know this is Scientology? Two, do you know the Foundation for Drug Free World is a front group for Scientology and it's all from L. Ron Hubbard? Do you know? And like he's saying, one for one, they're like, oh, no, we're not down with that. What are you talking about? So I love that he's doing this. Head over there to PTS for Life so you can be updated on what's happening. Tina in the last 20, new model for Scientology groups. We don't need no stinking badges. Susan says, love Jeff. Absolutely. Absolutely. All done while going to school. That's right. Jeff is going to school as well. So a lot going on over there. They're just doing a great job. Okay. Now the other day, was it yesterday? Gosh, my days are just blending in together. I sat down with Perth Scientology Audit. That's T. She's out in Australia. She's been doing all kinds of stuff. And we're going to just take a look at a little bit of clip from my interview with her, but I have linked it down below so you can check out the whole thing because it's fascinating hearing how she got started because she was never in Scientology with protesting Scientology and the things she has discovered. This woman has dug up some serious dirt when it comes to Scientology, not just in Australia, but in Africa as well. And she talks about that in that interview that I did with her. Link down below. You can find it on my channel under lives. We're just going to look at a short clip from that interview.
Been doing all sorts of stuff, investigating. I went undercover in London Org. I went in Narconon in the UK. I went to the Sea Org birthing near St. Hill. I've done loads of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What are some of the things that stood out to you? Did anything surprise you with any of these interactions with Scientologists or Sea Org members?
I think just when you've read the books and you've seen the documentaries and stuff, but like when you actually go inside an org, it makes it all so real, and you're like, this isn't a joke, this is serious. This is actually going on.
Yep, absolutely. She's done amazing work. Really check out the video because the things that she has done and uncovered and the way that she did it really blew my mind. It's like, I'll just be honest, Perth Scientology Audit. In fact, hold on. It's not fair to speak about the Office of Special Affairs without them knowing. So here we have David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology. We like to wake up the Office of Special Affairs, and the Office of Special Affairs is the dirty tricks branch of Scientology. Some refer to it as like their, the Sea organization is like the paramilitary fake Navy. And as you can see from his uniform, which is fairly accurate here, this is how they walk around. And David Miscavige has his little fake space Navy. And as part of that is the Office of Special Affairs. They like to watch our videos. Okay. And as you know, Office of Special Affairs, you guys are welcome at any time to leave and I will help you, even though I give you crap on an almost daily basis. So here's the thing. Here is the thing. The Scientology news is like out of control right now. And we're going to look at a clip. This one was so funny. It's a super quick clip. But I think it might make you laugh the way I did. We're going to look at that. But what I had wanted to say though, before we move on to that, is that per Scientology Audit, in her work and what she's done to uncover some of these things in Scientology in multiple countries, I think it's fair to say that I think she's doing a better job investigating than the Office of Special Affairs and Scientology themselves. Ooh, I know, I blaspheme to the Scientologists, but I'm telling you, that is what's happening, you guys. That is what is happening. She's doing a great job. Other people are doing a great job. It is so much fun here on the other side, outside of Scientology. We work through the hard stuff. We laugh, we cry, we talk about the hard stuff. We talk about the funny stuff, but it's just overall a much better experience out here. So join us. It's so much more fun. So much better on the outside, and there's so much support lined up to help you if and when you decide to leave. All right, let's see here. So let's go to this clip. This is from Scientology Audit Streets LA, William Good, who was at this community meeting. And, they were calling up the people whose turn it was to talk, to speak. And lo and behold, who do they call up? Who do they call up at this meeting? Listen closely. Let's make sure volume's turned up. Okay, listen.
1 minute is not enough.
Amy Montes, Shelley Miscavige.
And if you didn't hear, it was Shelly Miscavige, though she said Shelly Miscavige, paging Shelly Miscavige. Are you in the audience? Are you going to come talk? No, she's not, because she is, well, where we think she is one of those secret Scientology vault bases where they have a house built for L. Ron Hubbard for when he returns. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It sounds lovely, but I don't know why you'd need it. And apparently she is a caretaker there doing the work for L. Ron Hubbard. Praise Xenu. Doing the good work. But I thought that was hilarious. And I love that people in the audience caught on like, oh. Joe, did they bring a cardboard cutout of Shelly Miscavige? Now that would have been funny. They should bring one of David Miscavige and just bring him around, or maybe just the little Davy doll to represent. Oh gosh, it's so hilarious. All right, let's go do a quick peek over at Scientology San Francisco, where Club Brain Fog is. And that girl's having a good time out there, I'm telling you. Hold on. She's just letting people know what's what when it comes to Scientology.
So the new coursework you're going to have to buy, allegedly, it's going to be expensive because Lord knows the prices keep going up, right? Is that what you really want to do with your life? Is just keep having to buy coursework that means less and less to you the higher you get, doing something completely stupid, and having to pay for it by going down a course.
Exactly. She's talking about how Scientologists over and over again for years now are ordered back to the bottom of the bridge to total freedom. It doesn't matter how far they got or where they were at. No, David Miscavige, the dear leader, he decided that, you know what, people just weren't doing it right. So we're just going to have them redo it, and we're actually going to have them pay for it all over again. So if you're tracking here, Scientologists pay, let's say $5,000 for a specific step in Scientology. So they get to move up to the next step. It is like chutes and ladders. That is what it's like trying to move around in Scientology. You're supposed to be able to just go step by step by step, going up, up, and up. But what happens in David Miscavige's Scientology is you are sent back down. You know how chutes and ladders you play, and you're going up, and then boom, you get sent back down. And they have to pay for it again. I mean, if I go and I get an oil change, and the oil change people say, oh, you know what? We actually messed up your oil change. It's going to need to be redone. Do you think they're asking me to pay for it? No. Because they messed up and they're redoing it. It's like a whole customer service thing. But in Scientology, they have to pay for the stuff they have to redo, even though it's actually Scientology's fault that it wasn't done right in the first place. Because the person there taking the service is just following the lead. It is one of many scams in Scientology. I'm going to let you in on a little something. Scientologists hate this. Many Scientologists have left over the fact that they have had to redo multiple times things in Scientology that they then had to pay for. So keep an eye on that. Stacy says she's doing a better job because she has full access to the internet and OSA doesn't. You are so right. So you're talking about T over at Per Scientology Audit. Her investigations are so much better than OSA's, and you are right. You actually hit the nail on the head, Stacy. And that's how you can even sometimes tell when you are getting an email from OSA is there's no link. So, ooh, secret's out. Sorry, OSA. They email and they can't actually send you a link, but they want you to look at something that they think is going to interbulate, as they say in Scientology. Basically like chaps your ass, get you upset, whatever the thing is. But they can't actually link it in the email. So they do these dumb things where it's like, go here and click here and look at that. Like you're so obvious that you can't use the internet. I see you, OSA, up in my DMs, or actually in my email, because you're not allowed to DM because you're not allowed to be on the internet. Okay, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Karen, you made it. Normally part of the replay crew. Oh, this makes me so happy. That is the fun thing of shaking it up with a little bit of a different time. Okay, speaking of shaking it up, let's talk about Catherine Bell. You guys know Catherine Bell. She was in JAG and then some show about a witch. I think it was called The Good Witch, but I might have that wrong. She has been a longtime Scientologist. Well, it turns out Catherine Bell is also an open, like she is a lesbian. She's in a relationship with a woman. And Scientology just kind of like, we're not really going to say anything because we want to pretend that we're not homophobic, which they completely are, because L. Ron Hubbard says over and over again in Dianetics and the Science of Survival, all over the place, some serious homophobic comments. He associates homosexuality with criminals. It's gross. It's super gross. But here's Catherine Bell over here defending Scientology, which just cracks me up because I'm like, girl, you know the truth. You still doing this. JAG star Catherine Bell defends Scientology from false information. Catherine Bell believes the Church of Scientology gets a bad rap. And you know what, Catherine? They do get a bad rap because it's deserved, because it's based off of their actions, their behaviors. This is the consequence of what they've been doing for decades. She goes on to say, people don't really understand what Scientology is, the JAG star told Page Six exclusively at the New York premiere of the Hallmark Channel movie Christmas on Cherry Lane Thursday night. There's so much false information out there, she claimed, before advising people to research the controversial organization themselves. I always say, read something for yourself. Pick up a book and read Dianetics by Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Direct from the source and then make a decision. Girl, you not fooling anybody. The one thing I do agree with her on is find out for yourself. And you know what? You want to read Dianetics, you want to read a Scientology book, go ahead. Find out for yourself. But here's the thing. I love that she tells people, do your own research, find out for yourself. Yes, do. Go Google Scientology. Because even though Scientology pays a crazy amount of money to make sure they show up in the Google searches when you search Scientology. Well, so does a bunch of other stuff, including my videos and the videos of other creators, which is a great time to remind you to hit that like button and hit subscribe as well. I would appreciate it. Oh, she's still in the Good Witch? I didn't even know the show was still on. Portland SP supporter. Okay, she's still doing Good Witch. Interesting. Yep, Shauna, you're right. Yes, please research. You will find the abuses done by Scientology. Absolutely. So you know what? She's right. People should research. They should find out for themselves. I have a feeling that if David Miscavige heard that statement from her, that his butt puckered just a little bit, because he knows that means people are going to go on the internet. We've already got Scientology trying to create these apps so you can look at their magazines and other content without going to Google, without searching anything. You just stay in the Scientology app, and God only knows what they're putting on your device too when you download that Scientology app. They have multiple ones now. I'm telling you. Yep, Stacy, flip the coin, Catherine. Now you do the research. Read the books. Read the autobiographies. Read the policies. Well said, Stacy. Go read Jenna Miscavige's book. Who would know more about David Miscavige and that whole dynamic besides, a family member? Or read Mike Rinder's book, who worked directly with him, or Jeff Hawkins, or Blown for Good, or the many books, or my book, which is not out yet, but I am actively working on it. Yes, I have committed to doing a certain amount of work on it every week, and I just started that. Thank you guys for your encouragement and continuing to do that. And shout out to Jenna Miscavige, because she really lit a fire under me and helped me work out a way that I could actually get it done with everything else that's on my plate. So I am working on it. Okay, let's now take a look. Did you guys know, you guys might have already caught it, growing up in Scientology, Aaron did a video and he was showing clips from one of Scientology's hate sites about people who speak up about Scientology, who talk about their abuse growing up in the cadet org in the Sea organization. You guys, did you know? Did you know? Hold on. I'm totally distracted by Haggis Basher. Did Jenna also bribe you with cookies? Heck yeah. I actually had to tell her, don't make me any more cookies. They're so good. I like want to eat the whole thing. It's very hard for me to control myself. So anyways, let's talk about this video that Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology did. And he highlighted some testimonials, if you will, by Scientologists. Some might even be Sea Org members, where they basically were coming out and denying. You guys, a lot of you are familiar with Miriam Francis. Her YouTube channel is Rage Against the Dark Arts. If you're not familiar, check it out. Miriam suffered horrific abuse at the hand of her father in the Sea organization, and it was completely covered up by Scientology. And she had a friend, and they shared their stories about abuse in the cadet org on Scientology Aftermath. So because of that, Scientology did what Scientology does, and they put together some videos with people trying to say, oh, they're liars. They're liars. That never happened. That never happened. But one of them is Emily Armstrong from Linkin Park. It's her sister. Her sister did one of these hate videos. Let's take a peek at it. It's right after this guy here.
Everything.
Sometimes they would have babies. Like, you know, like we actually, I think, had about 4, I think there was 4 births, maybe even 5.
So she's talking about the animals, like at the, I think at the ranch. And here's the thing. If you read or you're reading Jenna Miscavige's book, I'm listening to it again on Audible, and you hear her telling of what that was like and how much work they had to do, how much manual labor these literal children had to do. And now here's Emily Armstrong's sister trying to pawn it off like it was some kind of a camp and they had a petting zoo. I mean, I just don't know what.
Births, but like they're like your pet. So of course you would go up and clean out their stall, help feed them. And it was actually kind of fun. Like, you know, we would get apples and carrots sometimes and going up and being able to feed them. And
is it just me, or is it so obvious that she's trying to be like, of course it wasn't child labor. Of course you would want to do it all. Like do they realize how defensive they sound like they're coming across?
You know, taking care of them. The donkey, we didn't have.
So, I mean, you guys kind of get the point here. It's like you cannot put lipstick on a pig and convince us that the work that these children did at the Scientology ranch where they were being kept separate from their parents, let's not forget that. Oh, you got to play with a donkey, you got to play with some horses, or more likely feed them, clean the stalls, take care of them. But what did you not have? What is the one thing they're not saying? Their parents. Their parents. Their parents were not there. They saw their parents for a couple hours a week, if you were lucky, maybe more at one point. And that time got whittled down to, for some of them, it was maybe an hour a week, if at all. If at all. But no, let's talk about feeding the animals and all of those things. Yep, Joe, I saw Odo. He did look to be in fear. He looked like he wasn't comfortable doing that. Tina, good point. Their body language spoke volumes. So down below in the description, I linked the whole video so that you can see it, because it is like, it's spooky. Kathy says, even the donkey tried to escape. In Jenna's book, she talks about trying to run away with one of her friends. And it gave me like anxiety reading it, because that feeling of thinking somebody's coming after you, that they're going to get you and find you and take you back. It's the thing I still have nightmares about, not regularly. These days, I've been out of Scientology for 14 years, and the regular nightmares stopped probably a couple years ago. And now I pretty much only get the nightmares when I go to protest Scientology, which I've done 4 or 5 times now. And I love it when I'm doing it. It's just for some reason, I guess my brain is still processing a lot of it, but I will almost always have nightmares about Scientology and them trying to force me to go back. And the nightmare is that I actually agree. And the interesting thing is, I've spoken to other ex-Sea Org members and ex-Scientologists, mainly ex-Sea Org, and they have the same nightmare. the same nightmare, because that's what happens. If you try to leave, blow, take off, they will go after you. They do drills in the SEA organization called a blow drill, because in Scientology, to take off without approval is to blow. And the whole drill is like, okay, you're going to this bus station, you're going to this train station, and we're going to get that person back. And they need to leave properly. And the handling for leaving the SEA organization is a multi-page check sheet, line by line, of all these things you have to do and all these people you have to get their approval from. It is a ton of BS is what it is. It absolutely is. Yep. Okay, so let's see. Now let's take a look at there's a video that I did. I edited a video talking about what happened to Emily Armstrong's mom in the SEA organization in the Hole. And the Hole is a place at the International Management Base where Scientology Sea Org members were held. They were locked into these double wide trailers stuffed in there. They were not allowed to leave. Bars were put on the windows. The door was locked and there was a guard outside 24/7. And they were subjected to some horrific abuse emotionally, physically, mentally. They were deprived of food, sleep. I mean, they had to sleep under their desks with bugs and all kinds of stuff. And it has come out that Emily Armstrong's mother did spend time in the Hole. And I don't think that girl knows. I don't. Because in Scientology and in the Sea Org, we keep these secrets. We keep them because that's what we're indoctrinated to do. We are convinced that if we tell the truth to our family about what life is really like, or something horrific that happens to us in the Sea Org, that can hurt Scientology. And we are indoctrinated from childhood to believe that our ultimate duty and purpose is to protect Scientology over anything else, including our own personal safety. And you don't share these things with people because it's bad PR, bad public relations. It makes Scientology and the Sea Org look bad. You think locking people in a trailer and depriving them of food or sleep is going to make you look bad? Maybe, David Miscavige, you should have thought about that before you did it, because now people have left and they're writing books about it. It is just completely out. So let's take a look at a clip from this video, because I did this video because I don't think that Emily Armstrong knows what happened to her mother. And I think that she needs to know. So, oh, and also thank you for all your feedback. It was my first premiere with an edited video, and I am going to shake up the music next time and not do it all the way through. I love that you guys gave me that feedback. I appreciate it so much because it really helps me grow as a creator and figure out how to do all of the things. I am figuring it out as I go. But I'm glad I have you guys here. Let's see. I'll pull that up. Hold on here. Gary, thank you for gifting 5 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. I appreciate that. Memberships on the channel really help me, and I love your support for all of that. You guys are fabulous. Thank you, Gary. Now we got to watch it rain. Memberships in the chat. It's just going to hit boom, 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 boom. Some people are going to get those memberships. Okay, so let's take a look at this clip where I actually am reading a first-hand account of Mike Rinder from his book, Billion Years, where he talks about what it was like in the Hole. And this is where Emily Armstrong's mother was. Daily confession sessions Miscavige took to calling them seances in the Hole typically began with someone making an accusation that a person had not come clean and was withholding their crimes. If the accused didn't provide a satisfactory answer, they would be told to stand up. More people would join in demanding compliance. If nothing was forthcoming, someone might get in their face and begin screaming at them and threatening to give them a black eye. This stems from a favorite line in a Hubbard policy letter stating that if anyone strayed from the righteous path, then other members could give them a black eye. Yup, that's the truth. I'm telling you. Jolyn, right? I know a few people were confused because when I do my live streams, there's really not any music unless I'm, reading Scientology, like dating sites. Then I add the cheesy jazz. And if you missed that video, it was a good one. I should do it again. We got to catch up on that. But I'm glad that you liked the video, though. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I really think Emily Armstrong needs to know this. Even her sister, it's like, are you aware? Do you know that this happened? Do you know that this happened? James Still, yes, The Bad Cadet is an also awesome book by Catherine Spallino. Check it out. Check it out for sure. Okay, now let's talk about some news that just came out today where, well, let's play the clip and then we'll talk about it. But it has to do with Emily Armstrong threatening to quit Linkin Park over the backlash that has been happening ever since it came out that she was a Scientologist and came from a Scientology family and did really Scientology culty things. So let's take a look at this.
Emily Armstrong has threatened to quit Linkin Park over all of the backlash she's gotten. Emily has been under pressure from fans after being announced as the replacement lead vocalist for the band 7 years after Chester's passing. Some fans have slammed her and the band, saying that Chester cannot be replaced and it is disrespectful to try. They say that nobody could perform their songs as well as him because he had so much emotion in his performances because he wrote the songs. They say that Emily will take the band too far in a new direction, and if they wanted to do that, they should have started a new band. They say that Chester and Linkin Park are synonymous with each other, and changing the identity of the band is almost like erasing Chester from history.
I will say I've been learning more and understanding more how passionate fans of Linkin Park are, how they connect to the music. And it's actually been a really beautiful thing to learn about and to understand why. I mean, I get the pushback because of Scientology and some things that she herself has done, but it's just when you put it all together, the more this story grows and the more that comes out, it's like, yeah, this is not a good match. Whoever thought this was a good match?
Other fans have slammed her for her ties to Scientology and her defense of Danny Masterson in the past. They say that Chester would disagree with her ideologies and she stands for everything he stood against. They think it is disrespectful to his memory to replace him with someone like Emily. And now a source has spoken up and revealed that Emily has considered quitting the group over all of the backlash that she's gotten. In a statement to the press, a source close to Emily said, Emily Armstrong has considered quitting the group over all of the backlash she's gotten. There's definitely been a lot of talks amongst the camp about this. The hate and media attention she's gotten has been nothing like anything she's experienced in her life. And
I bet it hasn't. There's a little bit more to that. It's just a couple minutes. You can watch the full thing down below, but that is the gist. And that is new news as well. And honestly, I think it would be the best thing. And to me, what that also tells me is she's not walking away from Scientology like I'd hoped. I was holding out hope for you, Emily. And honestly, I still am. Let's be honest. It's hard for me to give up on people. I'm like, nope, you can do it. You can do it. You can still leave. Many of us did. But it's interesting too, how these reasons why the backlash about Scientology and it's correct. Scientology does not believe in mental health, does not believe in depression, does not believe that medication can help these things, does not believe in therapy, tells its members not to seek psychiatric help. In fact, Scientology doesn't just go as far as saying, hey, don't you be seeing a psychiatrist. Scientology takes it even further and they boycott, they picket. They have a whole organization dedicated to exposing the evils of psychiatry. Now, not to say that psychiatry doesn't have some things in the past that was a little like, I think we can do better, but it did improve. And that's part of what is Scientology's sticking point, is they make it sound like everybody's going to get a lobotomy and some electric shock if they go to a school counselor. I mean, truly, I can remember as a Scientologist, as a kid, being terrified that I would accidentally end up in the hands of psychiatry. That I had nightmares about as a child in Scientology, because they built it up to be such this big thing. Later on, as an adult, when I was having my own doubts, confusions, and wanting to leave Scientology, and I brought that forward as saying like, hey, I'm having a hard time mentally. I am struggling. Was the solution to do like some legitimate counseling or something for my mental health? No, it wasn't. None of it was. It was to basically use more Scientology. I just needed to do more Scientology. That is their solution. And that's just not a solution, which is what makes it dangerous. If you're somebody who already has an existing mental health condition and you go into Scientology and participate in this organization, it makes it even worse. And that's why there are such a large number of Scientologists who have unalived themselves, including ones that made it to the top, operating Thetan level 8, as high as you can go in Scientology when it comes to their auditing. Whitney Mills, she was operating Thetan level 8, young, beautiful real estate agent in Clearwater, Florida, under the care of who? Not just Scientology, Dr. David Minkoff. And you might recognize his name because Elisa McPherson, another Scientologist who struggled with mental health issues and died under the care of Scientology at the Fort Harrison in Clearwater. So yeah, let's grab, hold on here. I'm going to grab some questions. Quoting minds want to know what you had for lunch and your drink of choice with lunch. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't had lunch yet. I did eat a very late breakfast. It was just like I get them at Costco. It's like egg, cheese, and some meat, like a breakfast sandwich, but there's no bread, and I throw it in the toaster oven, and I think I drink water. I am not known for rocking it when it comes to food unless somebody else prepares it because I suck at it and I don't like it. But I do like eating, so you'd think I would make more of an effort. Honestly, I think I just don't have the bandwidth, and it's something that I am working on getting better at because I need to take care of myself. Let's see. K Swap the World 69. Do you really think that she has mental health problems since she doesn't believe in it? Oh, do you mean Emily Armstrong? No. I don't know if she has mental health problems or not. But yeah, no, if she doesn't believe in it, she's not going to see it that way for sure. She's going to think it's because she just needs to do her next step in Scientology. I just have a hard time reconciling. I've been told that she's openly gay, that she's a lesbian, out and proud with Scientology after what L. Ron Hubbard says about it. And this girl was in the cadet org, in the Sea Org. It's not like she was, dabbled in Scientology for a few months back in the 80s. No, she was hardcore. So it's not like she doesn't know. Her mom is in OSA, Office of Special Affairs. You should let Gail go. Red Rover, send Gail Armstrong right over. The way I look at it is like this. This whole Emily situation is creating what in Scientology is called a potential trouble source situation. So Scientology, Office of Special Affairs, David Miscavige, you have no choice but to kick her mother out of the Sea Org. How can she be qualified with this situation? With her daughter bringing all of this attention to Scientology, bringing up about the abuses, all of it. It's continuing to come out. It's just dragging Scientology through the mud even more. How can Gail Armstrong remain in the Sea organization? I'm just saying, maybe you got to kick the girl out and then she can go. Because I'm thinking that if Emily's family wasn't so hardcore tied up in Scientology, would she leave? Many people, myself included, for a while, we stuck around because we didn't want to lose our families. We weren't ready to risk that until we were. For me, the point where I decided, I don't care if I lose my family, I'm leaving Scientology, happened when I thought I maybe was going to die. I was in a mall shooting in Seattle years ago and thought, oh my gosh, if I died today, I will have never been out of Scientology. And I was already having doubts and wanted to leave. There are a million reasons why I should have left Scientology over and over again. It was like being in a bad relationship and you just keep going back. Everybody, I think, in Scientology has to have that rock bottom moment, maybe in a way where you get to the point where you just don't care anymore, that you rather just be able to be your authentic self and live your life without this type of control, both financial and mental and spiritual. You have to get to that point to make that leap. Now, for me, I took 2 years to leave. And the biggest reason is because I worked my butt off to get my family to leave with me, and it worked. I left with 3 generations of my family. We all escaped Scientology together. I had some distant family, and of course, all of my friends that I had at the time. Actually, some of my friends left too. I laugh because Scientology is really mad about that. That when I left, it was like a vacuum. Bunch of other people left too. That's because you guys decided to talk all kinds of crap about me in your dead agent pack. And these people knew that that wasn't the case. So you really crapped the bed on that one. But that's my 2 cents. I think that Emily's mother should be kicked out of the Sea Org because she's creating a potential trouble source situation. Let's see here. James says, Natalie, a book, and please read your own audio version. I would love to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun to do the audio too. Sparkling Dragon, Natalie, I can't tell you how grateful I am that such a beautiful soul made it out of that horrific cult. That is very kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm so happy that you guys are all here. Let's see. Kim is Blue. Real Housewives of New York is gonna be fun to watch with the whole Minkoff angle. You are absolutely right. It's gonna come up. It's already starting to come up. I'm telling you. Joe says, this is in regard to Emily. She isn't deleting negative comments on her IG. Brave. That is brave, and I give her props for that. I do. Kelly says, Natalie, I'm so happy you got all your family out of that place and situation. Thank you. Do Seattle org members live at the Harrison location? Where do they live? As far as I know, they don't live in the building, not in this particular situation. They would live wherever they live. The only caveat there could be Sea Org members who are posted there. Do they all live together somewhere? Does the Sea Org pay for it? Because we found this out, you guys. We didn't know this. But when Z News was in Kansas City and did some undercover work where she recorded a conversation with a Sea Org member who said that their room and board does get covered, even though they're out at a place like Kansas City and not in a Sea Org organization. So I thought that was a good find there. It really was. Yep, Kelly, you're right. It's totally a domestic abuse violence relationship. That really is how it seems with Scientologists and Scientology. I really do feel that. And you got to just breaking free from the chains. Absolutely. All right, everybody, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for being here and sticking it out with me, even though we came on later on today. And big hello, anybody on the replay crew. You too, jump into those comments. I want to hear from you. Most importantly, everybody, I hope you all get out and have an amazing cult-free day.